Good evening and welcome to the big story here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. My name is Chika Ago. Let's get started with our conversation evening. Philip Shuaibu, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, has announced his intention to run for Governor of the People's Democratic of the state on the platform of the People's Democratic Party in the next 2024 elections. The Deputy Governor, who made his announcement at the Bishop Kelly Center in Benin City, the capital of Edo State, said he is a homeboy who understands the people's plight and urged the electorate and party members to support his idea, adding that after 30 years in politics and 7 years of working with Governor Godwin Obaseki to rebuild the state, he is in the best position to succeed his principal. The 53-year-old Shuaibu says he's put his life on the line for the development and growth of the state, and he is determined to make the South state great again. Well, a cursory walk down memory lane would readily confirm that instances exist where incumbent governors wholeheartedly endorsed their deputies as successors in the annals of Nigerian politics. But it would seem that in the case of Edo State, history is taking a U-turn following the feud between the governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Philip Shuaibu. And so in just a moment, we're joined by Musa Ebomina, the Chief Press Secretary to the Deputy Governor of Edo State, and Anthony Ehilebo, who is a member of the People's Democratic Party and also a lawyer in the state. That's coming up shortly here on The Big Story. Stay with us. Good evening.
Every second and every minute, something new happens. The news breaks.
People at a spot and angry mob decided to burn.
Everyone wants to share it, but not everyone wants to dig deep. Now that's where we come in. We bring you the news and go beyond with in-depth conversations and analysis with stakeholders.
I honestly think that the federal government on its own part has broken.
If voters or more people want to be part of that decision-making process, they need to be part
It is not a good measure of development anyway. We are not there. We need to counter the narrative of the fact that our vote does not count. If your vote does not count.
We bring you the story within the story, and that's what makes us tick. We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and we go beyond the news.
Thanks for staying with us. Anthony Ehilebo, who is a member of the PDP and also a lawyer, joins us live from Edo State. Thank you very much for joining us this evening on The Big Story. I hope you can hear me, Mr. Ehilebo. Hello, Mr. Ehilebo. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you very well.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Unfortunately, I've just been informed that we are unable to bring the Chief Press Secretary to the Deputy Governor on air. He said he had a last-minute change of plans, and so he can't join us. And hopefully we're able to have that conversation with him. But let's just sort of talk to you, Mr. Ehilebo, about some of the developments in Edo State leading up to the 2024 state's governorship elections. We see that the Deputy Governor of the states, Philip Shuaibu, has announced his intention to run for governor. What do you make of of that announcement? And I wonder if the party itself has taken an official position on the plans of the Deputy Governor.
Chika, why would the party take it? I mean, the deputy governor is guaranteed his rights under the constitution, his rights to association, his right to aspire. I doubt if particularly anybody is interested in asking him or stopping him from contesting. The field is open for everybody. We in Edo want the best for Edo. We're not sentimental about if, like he says, or he came out to say he's a homeboy or any of all that. It's unfortunate that I've heard that there were some skirmishes. I personally do not agree with them. I think that the Deputy Governor has also, in a way, played up the victim card continuously. If not, why would someone always have a camera? If you remember, there was an incident where his media aides were banned from, or were barred from approaching somewhere where the governor. I mean, it's very unfortunate. I sincerely wish that the deputy governor would tone down the rhetoric as he had promised when he made reconciliatory moves with his principal, the governor. Instead of playing up all these antics of someone who has been victimized of them. To be honest with you, if you go under the comments of some of these things that happen, perhaps TV stations and all of that, you read comments from people who are asking him what exactly is he looking for. If we go by the recent leadership of Edo State at the executive level in the office of the governor, the last governor was from his place in Edo North, and currently the serving senator, who was the former governor, is from his place. The current minister for Edo State is from his place. So if we were even talking about if he really ought to be contested, but that's not the question. The question is why the need for all the antics? Why the need for
here's the thing. Here's what I want to and I really wish that the CPS to the governor Musa Ebomiana would have joined this conversation. I really wish that we could have had him on here, because there are certain questions that would have been great for him to answer. But when
perhaps you heard that was coming on and he chickened out.
I hardly think so. I hardly think so, because he was well aware that you were going to come on the program, and he had accepted that he would join us. But I don't know.
I had a struggle with you concerning his appearance, and I said that if he wasn't coming on, I wouldn't be doing a monologue.
We're happy to have you here regardless. But look, Mr. Hile, but here's what I want to speak to, right? We look at some of the things that have happened. I remember I asked you at the beginning that I wonder if the party has taken an official position on his emergence. And you rightly said, look, he has a right to run, right? To declare his interest. But here's the thing.
Chika, are you there?
Okay, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Much better, Chika.
Right. So earlier on, you had said, in response to my question about the party's response to his interest in running for governor, that he has every right to run, and rightly so. But I think this is one of those times where where a person's intention, right, meets your association's desire. And hearing your response to his interest in running for governor, it does not seem as though there is that meeting of interest on the part of the deputy governor and desire on the part of the party structure in the state to throw their weight behind him. Surely that's going to be confusing for anybody. Don't you think so?
Well, Chika, going by our guidelines, each local government or each ward is supposed to produce. I mean, if we go by the amendment of the Electoral Act that has boxed us into a corner of having to use the ad hoc delegate system, where each ward is supposed to produce 3 ad hoc delegates and 1 national delegate per local government. So when you say behind anyone, I'm sure the deputy governor knows the political sentiments at the moment. I can assure you that there are areas the deputy governor will not even get 1 single vote in terms of the primaries, because people have perhaps decided that they're going to go a certain direction. Having had him for 8 years as a deputy governor, having had him in National Assembly, had him in the State House of Assembly, one would think that at some point you leave when the ovation is loudest. But in any case, I still go with the very sound logic that everybody is entitled to expressing their political intention, their political aspirations. No one should be singled out and stopped from expressing their ambition. However, they must not carry on in a manner that will suggest that they're up to antics, they are up to begging a situation of pity, starting a pity party. I mean, for a while, I've observed a lot of things he has been doing. I mean, like I said, I've seen videos of where he goes to a gate and he has social media guys with him. He has guys with cameras, and he's looking like he's despondent, and he's putting out those videos.
But if the governor is locking him out of his office, right? He's first of all, his office was taken out of the out of the governor's office, right? And he was taken out, and that was when he had that rift with Governor Basaki. If a person shows up to a place where he has called his office for the past 6+ years, following a rift he has with his predecessor, and it's been documented, right? It's been recorded. He has press people. They follow him about. I don't see how that is a problem. I think, in fact, that it speaks to a systematic breakdown of how things have been handled in Edo State, especially between him and his principal officer, the governor.
Chika, if you know Edo State and you know Governor Baseki, the one complaint people had a lot of times about the governor was that he gave his deputy governor so much powers. The entire sports festival, the entire issues related to sports, to activities around sports, one of the biggest budgets was given to the deputy governor. He was given so much latitude. Now, if you come to Edo Government House, you will realize that the government house has been remodeled very recently. So certain offices have been denied. It's not a big place. I mean, the Edo State Government House covers an expanse of land on GRA. So there is an official servants. I saw that video, Chika. When I tell you, one has been up to antics of whipping up sentiments and pity. If you listen to all his speech, he has delved heavily on trying to get people to feel his sentiments, subbing other candidates, who have not even paid attention to him, and he's seeking attention. I honestly, again, like I said, he's someone I used to have a lot of respect for, and I use that word used very cautiously, hoping that we can walk back from that the same way he walked back from the rather embarrassing display that he put on a couple of months ago. You see, Chika, I'm a communications expert. I've done this. Who does history and fact checking knows my history in comms. So it's easy for people with the eyes to spot these things, and I spotted it a while back. That how is it? And of course, part of the issues he had with the governor, and if you remember, a very public issue he had with the governor was that he was trying to get his press people into an occasion where the governor was already seated. Protocol demands that the deputy governor is seated before the governor, not when the governor is sitting. The deputy governor saunters in with his media team, and they're trying to put cameras on the governor's face. That was what it wasn't even anything related to his declaration or anything. It was just the affront, the fact that he started putting up antics and trying to curry. Look, if you do an analysis of how Edo people vote, I'm sure his advisors have told him protective, but Edo people are wise. You can no longer fake it that you are the victim, because he's faking that he's the victim, because he has been in charge for a very long time. Why is it now that he's now falling and forming that he's the victim of some harassment? And in all of this, How many times have you heard his principal utter words against him? Have you heard Obaseki in his very mature way? Have you heard him make any comments as regards this issue? But he's the one going all over town and making it look like he's being so that he can curry the favor of Edo. Edo people don't work that way.
So if I hear you in essence, right, what you're saying here is that there really is nothing or no bad blood between Governor Obaseki and Governor Shuaibu, and that essentially Deputy Governor Shuaibu is making all this up, because again it looks, it doesn't look as though, even the news reporting, and I'm not even saying going through or going by what we see from Governor Obaseki, from Deputy Governor Shuaibu, I'm saying just going by the reporting. For instance, the fact that the Deputy Governor was locked out of his office, right? The fact that his office was eventually relocated from where it was to someplace else, and we saw the picture of the place that he was taken to. Again, on this, I really am not privy to.
When you say you saw a picture of where it was taken to,
yes,
I've not been to government house in a long time, so I recently visited, and I can tell you the government house I probably did some work for in 2020, and the government house I visited a couple of weeks ago were completely different views and feel. There's been a lot of renovation, a lot of work. I think the governor is trying in his closing days to actually return the government house to what it is. The governor has his office, the deputy governor has his office. Again, his office was not locked. The SSG, who is in charge of all the staff of the government, including the deputy governor, had written a letter to the civil servants and relocated them months before then. But like I said, when someone wants to play up with antics, he goes to, he already knew that gate was locked. He already knew that his office had been relocated. But he wanted to play it up. He knew the impact it would have. He knew that he would get Chika to say that you locked him out of his office. And that's exactly what he needs. He needs to be able to whip up sentiments. But like I told you, why were these sentiments not there for 7.5 years? If you have worked so well with someone, in fact, if you remember when the governor was leaving APC, he was the first person, deputy governor was the first person to remove the APC flag from his office. So if you have worked so well with someone for 7 years, and then all of a sudden you start to tick him off, he's the person that made all the noise. He's still the person that went on air to apologize and say, if I've offended my big brother, I am sorry. And you haven't still heard a word from the governor. Because the governor doesn't, when someone has a laser focus on what he intends to achieve. I'm not going to sit here and sing praises of the governor, but because I honestly think that there are a few areas that he can improve. And I'm not going to start showering praises on him for maybe the GIS scheme, the ethanol factory that is in Edo State, the fact that Edo State has one of the very few modular refineries in Nigeria today, the fact that Edo State has its independent power plant, Osisiomo. I will not begin to give him or shower him encomiums for doing that. I will urge him to do better. There are more things that he can do. For instance, we are coming up to the dry season. All the time we spend speculating on road repairs. I expect that as the dry season has kicked. And I was actually just seeing a video of my dear friend, Itan Uzamare, who is the commissioner of roads and bridges in Edo State, actually mobilizing and getting people to get the roads done just in time for us to optimize the dry season. And I think if Governor Baseki can just tee off on some of these roads internally in the state, and of course, in collaboration with the federal government, finish the federal roads that have been a headache for Edo people, I think we will be able to give him the pass mark he deserves.
I want to come back to something that Governor Philip Shuaibu said recently as
Deputy Governor.
I'm sorry, that Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu said in a recent interview. The Deputy Governor said that the PDP, right? The PDP has not zoned the governorship office to Edo North since 1999, and he definitely thinks that the PDP should consider doing that now. And I wonder if as a party, there are conversations around zoning the tickets of the party, because he argues that we've seen the ticket go to Edo South, right? We've seen it go to Edo Central, but we've never seen it go to Edo North. And he argues that there needs to be a consideration for that. Is that something the party is thinking of?
When somebody wants to make an excuse, like I said, I feel like he has gathered a bunch of very untutored advisors around him, and they just tell him anything. This deputy governor that is talking, when did he enter PDP? That is coming to want to reap the benefits of PDP zoning. What year did he become a member of PDP? He was a member of APC when APC gave the ticket to Edo North, where he's from. Okay, so when you jump party, you jump with the zoning. He wants to become a beneficiary of PDP's zoning, when he wasn't even in PDP, but he was in APC when APC zoned it to the north. Such an unfortunate.
So are you saying that it is not a valid argument in this case?
It doesn't even have the moral. It doesn't even have any claim to that particular. I mean, it's people who have been in the party for years, who, when the zoning came, they were not included in the zoning. That means you suffered a result of that zoning, but you still maintained your party loyalty. We have to be very careful when we do delineations, because there are gray lines, and very unfortunate people tend to want to hide or go under the lines that suits their interpretations and their intent. But we must be careful to avoid this, and some of us will be so granular to bring out these issues. I've never changed parties. I have been a member of PDP from the day I joined politics, and I can tell you, Philip Shuaibu has no moral rights. He has no claim to PDP zoning, because when the zoning of APC favored the North, he was in APC. He was not a member of PDP. He only became a member of...
Hello? Mr. Haleb, are you there?
How we are zoning in PDP. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so you say he only became a member of PDP when... And that was when you went off.
2020.
Right.
He only became a member of PDP in 2020. How then can he claim that he wants to enjoy the benefits of zoning? How? When you were a member of APC, the ticket was in Edo North. When you were a member of APC, the ticket was given to Edo North, and you enjoyed it because you had a close relationship with Adams Oshomole, who later recommended you to be deputy. Served the term of Edo North, and immediately the term of the person he handed over is finished. You want to take it again and now claim that the PDP has not zoned it to Edo North. I mean, this is somebody that wanted to go to APC, and Oshomole drove him away. Do you remember? Oshomole gave a statement and said that the man should go and be loyal to his governor, that they will not. APC is not a dumping ground. The same man now wants to go and. If you are coming to equity, they tell you to come with clean hands, because people like Anthony Ayelabo will tell you when you are coming with very dirty and soiled hands. I don't want to have anything against the deputy governor. He's my deputy governor. He's someone I think because of his struggle, his nature, and his upcoming in the struggle as an activist, that he will respect the onus of truth. He will respect the devices of bringing justice and fairness in any situation, and not try to abuse them by seeking to be the victim, by seeking to hide under an amorphous terminology that belongs to people who have believed in that system. If at all we want to talk about zone, it will not be Philip Shuaibu that will come from Edo North and say that under PDP. He was not in PDP as of 2019. He was not in PDP, he was in APC. And APC gave their ticket Oshomole just before that 2019.
But would the PDP actually consider zoning this time around, the governorship tickets?
Zoning is rather than a ground norm, it is a convention. Zoning is a conventional activity. It is left to the devices of people. By the way, the PDP in Edo North has said that it will stick to the principles of zoning in Edo for fairness. You see, you cannot, to enforce zoning is a matter of fairness and that a common agreement, like we do in Edo. I'm from Edo Central, right? In Edo Central, we have what we call Agbazilo and Okpewolo. It's just a division that was put in to divide these constituencies so that if one position remains in one side for maybe 8 years, 2 terms, it moves from there to another term. Sometimes there is a deviation from this plan, and that's why you have political imbalances that arise from this. And of course, the party tries to introduce this zoning mechanism to become more inclusive to people who ordinarily would have very little votes, but have contributed to the success of the party. Now, if he's talking about PDP, the major success of PDP in Edo State has been from the central. So he should not try to reap where he did not sow. He definitely has not planted in the heydays of PDP because he was not there to plant. He was.
I mean, but you can make that argument, but
right? An umbrella.
But you can make that
the
argument.
Gave him an umbrella in 2020.
Some would argue. So I mean, you can make that argument, right? And that's absolutely fine. But people would also say that in many ways, right, he has paid back the debts, right? He was governor on the platform of the PDP. The PDP hasn't been in office since Osumbo was removed by the courts and replaced with Adam Soshomole. So in many ways, one can argue and say, look, after what is 8 years of PDP being absent from politics at this, being absent from the governor's office, Philip Shuaibu and Obaseki coming back, on the platform of the PDP, running and bringing the PDP back again, in many ways has seen them pay their debts. Don't you agree?
Chika, have you ever, I mean, in your whatever sort of studies or whatever research you've done as per Philip, have you ever looked at his polling and ward results? At every point he has gone up against his father and mentor, Oshomole, he has been roundly defeated in his LGA, in his federal constituency, in his senatorial district. He has never performed. So he doesn't even have the ground game. Even if we give him the ticket today, he will still lose Edo North to Oshomole. So what is the political value of giving him the ticket? As far as I'm concerned, he's only playing the spoilers game because from what I see, he was given a senatorial ticket. Why didn't he take it? By now he would have been a senator of PDP coming back to contest as governor, and then perhaps we'll respect him that he can win a senatorial district. But he cannot even deliver. He could not even deliver his senatorial district in a National Assembly election. It took a miracle for him to even be able to. I'm not even sure. I will have to check if he delivered his House of Assembly candidates for the last House of Assembly elections. And here we are trying to say that he's being victimized. Look, he's welcome to come to the field. This is innuendo of saying that PDP has not taken the ticket to the north. I will ask him again, and I will ask him here on air. When did you join PDP that you are beginning to want to claim zoning under PDP to the Edo North? Where were you when Edo North was fighting? And since you came into Edo North, how much have you changed the fortunes of PDP in Edo North? How many House of Assembly members have you produced? How many House of Rep members? Were you a former House of Rep member that cannot produce a House of Rep member, somebody who wants to become governor? He should be allowed to go to the field and he will be defeated very well. I know this for a fact. He knows it for a fact. The only problem is those that he's trying to deceive, and then they will start asking me questions that we locked him out of, or the Edo State government locked him out of office. For God's sake, nobody locked him out of any office. He was just playing antics with, and all of a sudden there was a mobile phone there to record it. And today he's claiming that he's the victim. Victim of what?
We'll see.
There's nobody that, in fact, yes.
'Hello, go on.
Hello, go on.
No, finish up your thoughts.
Finish up your thoughts. No, 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 finish up your thoughts No, I'm quite done. I don't want to.
right.
Like I said, I didn't want this to be a monologue.
Yeah, I honestly wish that we could have brought up the CPS to Mr. Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu.
I told you. You know, your first suggestion was that I should speak solo, then he will come and respond. When he knew that I was coming, of course, these guys don't know, and they don't even have anything to say. They don't have anything to. We
always want to speak to.
They are staging victim support group.
We always want to give every side to speak.
To ask me about more intellectually capable candidates or aspirants of the PDP that are emerging.
I'm sure when we get there, when the need arises for that, we definitely would have that conversation, right? I'm sure we will have that conversation.
How unfortunate that we now have this situation where people who have nothing to back up their CVs are now coming to be.
I think this is a great place to leave. I think this is a great place to leave the conversation. Anthony Ehilebo, lawyer, member of the PDP in Edo States as well, joining us to discuss the emergence of Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu, who, by the way, has now said that he wants to run for office of the governor. They still have to do a primary, so we'll see how that goes. Mr. Ehilebo, always a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chika.
And that is the big story here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. Again, I should remind you that we had agreed, with Musa Ebomiana, the Chief Press Secretary to the Deputy Governor of Edo State, that we were going to have this conversation. He was well aware, that we're going to have another member of the PDP join us here to have this conversation, but he cancelled just last minute to moments before the show went on air, and so that explains his absence. But we'll continue to consult with members of the Deputy Governor's office and see if we can have the governor to come on air and address some of the issues raised in this conversation as well. But let's talk about this at the round table. So stay with us. Good evening. This is the big story here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
Lagos and beyond. Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Please, officer, now. I know to make money today, I beg now.
Hey! Laolu! Today is the day you are going to pay for all your sins.
Something exciting out of the stables of Sanitary Pad Media Campaign.
No, Salami. First man I know well, wallahi. Since yesterday. My stomach, I dey pain now. Come on, I no sleep.
Yeah. A radio drama soap, My Period, My Pride.
This woman, come on for road. You know they look your back. Come on for road, this woman, huh? Come on for road.
My Period, My Pride, an advocacy tool for the provision of free sanitary pads for schoolgirls in Nigeria, powered by Sanitary Pad Media Campaign with support from MacArthur Foundation and Radio Now 95.3 FM.
My Period, My Pride, Season 1, The Story of Afi.
Every Saturday at 10 a.m.
To Financial Services Regulation and Coordinating Committee FSRCC tinyere National Broadcasting Commission NBC Johera Doho Boda Kanante banyere ndị na-atụ mgbere ego iwu akwadoghị bụ Illegal Financial Operators IFO nke na-eme ka ndị mmadụ ghara inwekwa ntụkwasị obi ọzọ tinyere na ngalaba na-ahụ maka ego na Nigeria enweghị nkwudosi ike ha jizi ohere agba ndị ọha obodo ka ha kwụsị ịtụnyere ndị na-atụ mgbere ego enweghị akwụkwọ ikike inwekwara ike ime nchọpụta banyere akwụkwọ ikike ụlọ ọrụ dị otu a site n'akara webụsaịtị ndị a www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng. maka inye mkpesa banyere gburugburu ego n'ụdị ọbụla kpọọ 07002255226 08002255226 maọbụ +234-817-665-6273. ozi a si n'aka FSRCC.
The issues are all around us, but who talks about them? Law enforcement breaking the law, property owners ripping off tenants, political office holders taking the electorate for granted, or is it the plague of recurring bad policies made by the government? These are the issues. Let's talk about these and more at the Round Table. Stay locked on to Radio Now 95.3 FM every weekday as we discuss these hot topics around us on the Round Table on Now Express. The Round Table, weekdays 5:30 p.m.
Good evening and welcome to the Round Table here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. Look, it's it's been a very interesting year across the country. Lots of elections, and we've been talking so much about what to do with INEC, right? But that conversation about what to do with INEC continues to rear its head. We've had this conversation all year long, right? It's been here. We've trashed it, but it continues to, because it's now, a thing that people are saying we must do. And I wonder if, your position on what to do with INEC has changed since the last time we had this conversation. And I'm saying that because Yaga is saying that INEC is struggling to breathe and needs to be unbundled. Yet another call for the unbundling of INEC. He's advocating the establishment of an Electoral Offences Commission and a Political Party Regulatory and Registration Commission to ease the burden on INEC. Right? So, I wonder, whether you've had time to think about what to do with INEC since the last time we had the conversation about what to do with INEC. And, we do have, if there's anything that we can do to significantly improve the efficiency of this all-important democratic body, then I think that, we need to start having this conversation now, well ahead of the next, elections, because whether we like it or not, the people who made the last elections unbearable for Nigerians are already strategizing on how to make life even worse for us by 2027. So if we are going to beat them, if we are going to make it impossible for them to make life impossible for us, then we have to talk about how to make the system better. We have to start pushing now, well ahead of the changes that we desire to see, INEC make, or the federal government make with INEC. But here's the thing. Yaga, is saying that there should be the establishment of an Electoral Offences Commission, strictly electoral offences, and then another commission that looks at political party regulation. It's going to be the Political Party Regulatory and Registration Commission. And so INEC can just focus on elections and election matters only. I want to get your thoughts on this. 0913 5000 953 and 0901 1111 953. I want your thoughts on this proposal here on what to do with INEC. Okay, on one hand, an Electoral Offences Commission. On the other hand, a Political Party Regulatory and Registration Commission, right? So that someone is in charge, or an agency is in charge of political parties and all the things that happen inside inside of them. Shegun is calling in from Ikeja. Hi Shegun, good evening.
Good evening, Chika. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Please carry on, Shegun.
I think the problem we are having is not a problem, sir. I think we need to identify the problems of the country, because to me, the problem of this country is not even about elections or bringing in, although to not actually say that food does not count, food counts. So that's number one. But it's not about election. It's about the system itself. We need to work about the system. Because even though you have the right candidate ruling the country, the system does not support the right thing. Because our constitution has already set a lot of anomalies. So they need to regularize those things. Okay, for example, look at the system, revenue generation system, oil the way they actually manage our oil, the way they manage our import and so on like that. There's a lot of things that are not really right. It's not like even though you have the right candidate in the position of government, the system itself will bastardize everything. You need to work on that system first before we talk about election. Even though you Peter Obi enter, I don't think that the system will make the system actually have been corrupt. So that's my thing. So even though, for example, Yaga is saying the right thing, that the INEC should concentrate on anything related to election, it's good. But not only that, we need to think about how we can, what we are facing. Our information is high. A lot of things, and you see many things that are not even okay, and there's nothing they do about it. Look at the economic system. The inflation is going up every day, and they keep on postponing since about 1 year now. We keep on having rising inflation. They keep on giving us the kind of promise. So I think the system itself.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? If we say that the system is corrupt, Shegun, then we need systematic reforms, right? If the system is corrupt,
not even corrupt. Okay, for instance, now somebody has a problem. You solve the problem, but you do not solve the root cause. What is the causes of the problem? You are looking for symptoms. It's not symptoms. You need to tackle the problem. Okay, what is causing inflation?
Okay, Shegun, let's you know what? Let's be practical here, right? Let's be practical. Okay. In the case of INEC and the sort of reforms that we need, what is the systematic problem, and what are the reforms that we need?
Well, for the aspect of INEC, if you want to do reform, I've said this. I think you brought up this thing last week. I said that they should make the way we get our voters card, they should make it simple that everybody will have a voters card. We have, for instance, it is about 20% of the total population of Nigeria that actually have a voters card. If I'm correct, because a lot of us register for voters card, we do not get it. They make it so difficult in such a way that you cannot even get it. But if you go to a place like North, this is easy. Why is it not have equal justice in the country? But they should make it easy. Bring this machine to door of everyone. Let those people who are the age of 18, let everybody have a voter card. You can easily go and vote. Don't make it, the system itself is not difficult. It's we ourselves that make it difficult because they don't want things to be in line. That's it. So if you have a voter card, you can vote and you vote.
Shegun, you said something earlier, right? You said you said that the problem is systematic, right?
Yes.
And then in the same vein, you're also then saying that it is easier. The same voters card that is easier to get in the north is harder to get in the south. And I don't, I really don't like to push back on those rhetorics because I've never had to get my voters card outside of Lagos, so I don't know what it's like to get a voters card outside of Lagos, so I can't speak to it, and I typically don't like to push back on that. But no, here's what I'm saying. But if there is a systematic error, right, or if there is a systematic problem that makes it easier for people in one part of the country to get their cards and people in another part of the country to, it's harder for them to get that card. Well, how do we fix that? Because that right there is the systematic issue that is now before us.
I believe our government can listen to this conversation, and that is part of things that they need to do. What is the cause? It's not the problem itself. What is the cause? Why is it so difficult in the southwest, southeast? Why is it so easy in that place? They need to look at those problems. What are the cause? And when they look at the cause and they resolve it, it's not that maybe it's in there that comfortable to give us focus that.
All right, Shegun, thank you.
Thank you.
Shegun, thank you very much. Kenny is on air. Good evening, Kenny. How are you?
Yeah, my brother. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Carry on, please, Kenny.
Yeah, my brother. You see, our politicians, they know how to go about all these things. It has become food for boys. And there's one adage in Igbo language. My father always tell me, Uru, as in Obodade Mauru then. they try to destabilize everything so that it will not work to their own benefit. I feel like this thing does not cost us anything to breeze up. And INEC, they are just foot dragging. I don't know, because the way they print, the way they print technology to us, as if we are dummies. We don't know anything in this country. What is there about electronic voting?
I don't think so. I don't agree with you on that. Let me say something. No, hold on. I'll let you finish. But look, Kenny, anywhere in the world, right? Anywhere in the world, and I mean anywhere, no matter how developed they seem to be, introducing technology, introducing new tech is always difficult, especially at on a large scale. Especially at the scale at which INEC tends to do it really doesn't matter.
Kenya has been doing their own, my brother. You don't make excuse for these people now.
I'm not making excuse, but it's the reality of the world that we live in, bro.
You forget about it. Our senators will tell you, in their village, there's no network, there's no this, it cannot go.
But it's not. But we are not lying. But they are not lying, are they? They are not lying.
They are lying. It's a big fallacy because they say 2,000 to their people in the village there, they go and collect money.
That's not true. But you see,
brother,
no, Kenny,
the money they want to send to their village.
Two things,
Kenny.
Kenny, hear me out, yeah? I think that one thing that we must be able to do as a people, as Nigerians especially, is to hold two truths, two realities. And I think that in this case, there are two scenarios that are true. One, that we don't have reliable coverage across all of Nigeria. That is true. Kenny, hold on. Kenny, wait. Kenny, it's not. Kenny, hold on. Look, I did not say that. No, I did. Notice my language. I did not say that we don't have coverage. I said reliable. I said, Kenny. No, that's not true, Kenny. I said again. Listen to me, my brother. I said reliable coverage. Reliable is the key word here, and not the coverage. Right? Reliable is the qualifier. That's the adjective here. I'm saying that there are places in this country where we don't have reliable coverage. That much is true, but also there seems to be an active tactical resistance to deploying technology on a large scale across the country. That as well is true. So the question now is, how do we begin to ensure that we are getting, we are beating the systematic pushback to what is an obvious developmental need? That's the question.
Chika,
yes.
This is they are smarter than you.
I disagree. No, I don't agree with that. Maybe you, but not me that much, my brother.
Now. You don't need to disagree. Let's give you my reason before you disagree now. Let me disagree. Let's give you my reason before you disagree.
Turn up.
Hello?
Go on.
Yeah, these people, this is their business. You cannot outsmart these people with their business. If you are not a spare parts dealer, you cannot come and tell them what is there in the spare parts. If you are not this, you cannot come and tell them this is what is this. These people, they are tycoon in that area. So you are not a journalist. I cannot come and tell you what is in journalism. That is how this thing is. These people, they don't have any other job. You can see now they are appointing their cronies, their brothers, their affiliates to be there. And they will be the ones telling us this.
Wait, one second, Kenny. I've had Ambassador Musbah. Wait, hold on, Kenny. 1 second. I've had Ambassador Musbah holding for a minute, so if you can please call me back so I can talk to him, right? So he's not holding for too long. Ambassador Musbah. Good evening.
You got to buy my card. You recharge my phone.
You are not. Every day I'm giving out. Every day I'm giving out recharge card. Every day I'm giving out recharge card. Every day I'm giving out recharge card on this phone. I know where you did. I know where you did. Tomorrow 3:30. Tomorrow 3:30. Tomorrow 3:30. Listen, I give out recharge card.
It is me and you.
If you don't win my recharge card, I'm not fear help you, my brother.
Just because of the beautiful lady, your producer, I forgive you.
Please, Ambassador. Please leave that woman alone. She's just trying to do her job. Carry on.
Chika, on more serious note, look, we are deceiving ourselves.
Come on.
Either you ready, they will disagree, argue with you. No, for me, we need a reform. And we as a people, we need to rethink and make a change. It is good to blame my neck. Look, before my neck, 1,000 times, it is human beings that are there. And the politicians too are human beings. Sure, stamina. What we need to do as a people, let us reform and let the office less attraction. In as much the office was so attractive, people go to any way, to any length, sure, stamina. Look, it's like we as a people, we never accept the disease. Even though, let me tell you one thing, Chika, what happened last weekend in a religion, I won't mention the domination of the religion. They are looking for chairman of the religion, the chairman of the committee, and they have got 3 people. Do you know they want a same blow to be a chairman, just to contest a chairman of the committee? They want a same blow. Why? It is fraud. How do you elect it? How do you become chairman? How many votes does he have? The people have called something over. That is Nigeria for you. Even as a student, we know we are contesting for the student union leader. We know how it takes. That's we as a people. We never accept defeat. Sure, stamina.
But this is not about no. Ambassador, hold on. But this here is about saying let us reduce the room for INEC to make errors, or reduce the room for INEC to be manipulated by reducing the burden of the weights, by reducing the weight of the load that they have to carry, so that the margin of error is significantly reduced. That's right there is what the argument is. I just hope it's not lost on you.
In as much human being, the error will still continue. Even the American election, they are still an error. They are perfect. They are not perfect election everywhere.
No
so
doubt.
All I know is that error will still continue. But as a people, are we ready to make this work? Okay? Are we ready as a people? Sure, stamina. In as much such as that, I'm ready to sacrifice with that benefit to make this work. Sure, stamina. If we can have this at the back of our mind, sure, stamina. Do this. Look, change this. No matter the policy you introduce, in as a human being is there. Human being is still there. There are still going to be an error. All I know is that let us search ourselves ready to contribute our quarter to make this work. That's the Coco Chika. Let us design ourselves.
Ambassador Musbao, thank you very much. So Yaga Africa is proposing, right, that we take INEC and unbundle one part electoral offenses, the other parts political party regulation and registration. And the idea is that if INEC don't have a lot of, if they don't have a lot of things to, sort of weigh them down, if they don't have a lot of issues to attend to, then INEC will be able to, deliver better elections for us, right? They'll be more efficient at their job. And I think that right there is the argument. I don't think that it's, this is whether Nigerians are corrupt or we won't change or not. Josh, welcome. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, this time I listen to music, I don't know, I just be laughing. But anyway, that's fine. He has his own opinion. But let me just say this. We make excuses for the politicians a lot. And unfortunately, there is politicians that make the laws. Yes, they are human beings, but we can correct the system. So that is the reason why some people were placed there to be leaders. And we make excuses for those ones that are supposed to be accountable, that are supposed to be leaders, and are supposed to lead the people. You understand? And we keep taking it. And some people will come out, even the politicians will come and use some people's brain and say that that the change should start from me and you. No, I don't believe that. The change should start from you, that you have been given mantle of leadership. You should lead. That's how to lead. You lead and make reforms. Make reforms not to favor you. The same Yaradua came in through a flawed election. He said yes, he admits that the election was flawed. But that what he will do is that he will reform INEC. And he genuinely started doing the reform. Unfortunately, Ted took him. You understand? But that's what we should be talking about. Not because you voted for someone and the person maybe possibly won or came in a particular way and all that, and you want to make sure that the person stays there, he finishes his 8 years or whatever it is. That's not what it should be. Politics is not do or die affair. And we'll keep talking about these things. The point is that let's reform INEC. Let's be sincere about it. if there's a human, if it's human beings that are there, INEC actually in the last election did a bit of through the legislators, they did a bit of a reform, which was for them to use technology. And it's only technology that can make us do this in the right way. But INEC went to shut down the technology without giving any reason for shutting down that technology.
But that was never. Who said they shut it down? But that didn't scale in courts, right? But that didn't scale in courts. That didn't scale in court. There was no proof that INEC shut anything down. It didn't scale in courts.
But they came out. The only person that came out to what they call it as the witness for INEC, only one person that came out as the witness.
Look,
what did he say?
Look, we can go back. We can go back and forth about what exactly happened. I'm just going to stick to the court documents. Josh, that's not my job. My job is to remind you of what was said in court, and that's where I'm sticking.
And so what was said?
And INEC denied shutting it down. Whatever happened, INEC can come in and explain themselves.
Whatever happened, you see,
INEC can come in and explain themselves. I'm just making it clear here.
But have they explained themselves till today? Do we even know what happened? I don't understand. The point was that they are saying that we couldn't really assess IREF. IREF couldn't, show us the election. And that would have been transparency. Total transparency.
Josh, thank you. I have to speak to Emmanuel from Monaco. He's been holding for a minute. Emmanuel, good evening.
Good evening. I've been holding for more than a minute.
Yeah, we apologize. Please go on.
If I did stress all the content is a minute, so I have no choice but to say it's a minute.
Don't do that, man. Come on. Don't do that.
Once in a while, it's good to be cheeky. Anyway, coming down to Yaga, I agree 100% with Yaga because the objective is to try and minimize the mistakes, because there is nowhere in the world where elections are held that there is no one problem with the other. So mistakes abound everywhere, but just the level, just that our own level is on the higher side and it's worrisome. So if there are areas, especially what I'm more interested in is the election offenses tribunal. If they can actually have an election offenses tribunal and people are held accountable for their actions and they are brought to book, I believe that it will be a lesson for others to learn. And if they have plans towards doing that, maybe in the next election, they will people from it because they know that somebody has been punished with maybe either a hefty fine or maybe a jail term or something of that nature. If that can be done, I think we will get better. Like I said, there's nowhere in the world that elections are held and there are no problems. As regards technology, I agree with the last part that I said that I must stifle the chance for us to actually advance in technology because, like Kenny said, if they are sending money to people in the villages, if our offshore workers can be communicating with people, then it's something that we need to know we can do. You understand? Yeah. So let me not take much time.
Emmanuel, thank you very much. Always a pleasure talking to you. Kenny, let's wrap this up. Take us home.
Chika. See, if you wait till today that kingdom come, they will tell you, our politicians, they will tell you to continue with option A4. That if you not even do defense at all. You understand me? They will take us backward. So we should not listen to them. INEC should be, as the name implies, independent. Tell them, our legislators, this is what we want to do. The president should not be appointing the INEC chairman, the REC, and what have you, all the commissioners and what have you. They should stop appointing them. Because if they appoint all those REC, you understand, they are not answerable to the INEC chairman. Rather, they are answerable to somebody, people that elected them.
All right,
or people that appointed them. Okay. That is what look at what happened in Adamawa.
Kenny, I can't go any further. I can't go any further.
Results
thank you, my brother. Enter fridge. Go sit down for fridge. Make I do news. That's the show this evening. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. I'm back tomorrow from 2 p.m. So make sure to join me then. My name is Chika Agu. The news summary at 6 is next. Have a good night.
Across Nigeria, Africa, and the world, this is Radio Now News.
Thanks for staying with us. This is the news summary at 6. In the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu will be going to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, tomorrow to attend the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference or Conference of Parties of the UN